Hello there, welcome to Hashtag Toe to Toe, the show where you set the agenda with your boxing questions. We've got a South London get-together today. Spencer Fearon, our regular pundit, joined by former British Commonwealth champion and European challenger on a couple of occasions, Julius Francis. Julius, welcome, and Klitschko connection as well, because you fought Vitali on the eve of Fury. Klitschko, how are you, first and foremost?
Yeah, good. Doing well.
Yeah?
Living, surviving. There it goes.
As we all are, just about, yeah. What do you think, Spencer? How do you reminisce on this guy's career? Because he has fought Audley Harrison as well, Mike Tyson,
Danny Williams twice.
Your mate Danny Williams.
I remember this. Julius made me cry. The night he beat Danny, I think that was April 1999.
Yeah.
Right? He made me cry. I remember at the Royal Albert Hall. Seriously, I cried like a little girl. I ain't gonna lie. I was in the change room with Danny. Danny just lost the title. Danny had to come and console me. Like, everyone's like, why are you crying for? Shut up, Spencer. But seriously,
Was it bad advice you gave him? Was it?
No, it had nothing to do with me. He was training with Winston Spencer. But what we got to blame him. But no, really and truly, I remember the Indian summer that Julius had in 1999, where like there was a hot shot from Sheffield, from a Winkerbank gym called Pele Reid, who used to come in these limbo shorts, a kickboxer, world champion, knocked out Klitschko in kickboxing,
Yeah.
sparked him completely.
You did mixed martial arts as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
I did that and kickboxing as well. So.
And we thought that this guy was going to come and trample Julius, and Julius knocked out Pele Reid. Then everyone was like, oh,
3 rounds.
Right, in 3 rounds. Then Julius goes on. And the other hot prospect was Danny Williams. He beat a young Danny Williams on points, convincingly on points as well. And then he goes out and he gets revenge over Scott Welsh, who nobody thought that he was going to, and that was at the London Arena.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
don't muck around my knowledge. Right? So, right. And I didn't have to rehearse.
Homework, that's it, yeah.
Homework, I understand. Right. So, no, the reason why I remember that, because I meant to box on that show as well, and I didn't box. I don't know what I was doing. But anyway, I showed boxing, but I never. Ernie Fossey said, oh, don't worry, Spence, you don't have to fight on the show. Right, God bless Ernie Fossey in heaven. So, yeah, but that was an amazing time for Julius Francis, man.
Yeah, it was. It was a good period for me.
And you turned pro at 28, didn't you, as well?
Yeah, I turned pro at 28, which is really quite late as for a pro fighter. And I actually didn't walk into an amateur boxing gym till I was 18.
Yeah.
So
fast learning.
But then I was a fighter on the street, and I didn't say I liked fighting. I used to get into a lot of the fights. Yeah. So, and I think maybe that obviously it was a channel that I could use and do something properly, and use my aggression and whatever properly.
Yeah. It's great to have you. Hope your knowledge will be used to our viewers as well. The questions coming in. Right, then the first question comes in from Shannon Blewitts, and it is about the big fight on Sky Sports box office this weekend. And Shannon says, for all the talk, I think Fury will try to box and out-jab Klitschko. If he does, I can see Klitschko getting frustrated. Has he got the superior height and reach advantage? Do you see Fury adopting that game plan, box and move?
Well, he could. He most probably might try and box and move, and I think with this fight, it's going to be right from the get-go to establish the jab. Whoever's going to land the big, good, strong jabs first, he's going to really be able to take control. I don't believe that Tyson's going to come out to just box. I believe that Tyson wants to come out there and show the world that he can punch. So I think he's going to kind of go maybe a bit gun-ho, and really try to land some big, powerful shots.
Have you done any sparring with Tyson?
No, I've never sparred with him. Never had the chance to really spar with him. I think my career had finished by the time Tyson Fury was coming up anyway. So, but I do believe he'll come out and try and land some big shots early, just to get. He has to get the respect of Klitschko. That's kind of maybe for Tyson. There's got to be key, to get the respect of the guy, make the guy fear him.
Well, it's interesting, Spencer, because he's a younger man and he's undefeated, 18 knockouts from 24 fights. But the perception is that Vladimir, at knocking on 40, is the more powerful of the two. If they do stand and trade, perhaps he'll come out on top. How do you see it? Do you think boxing and jabbing could be the way, or could get... Because Klitschko's been knocked out before, so perhaps scaring him a little bit?
He has been, but that's been 11 years ago. And since being knocked out, he was down a few times. And that's nearly 10 years ago now, when he fought Samuel Peters. But since then, he's just adapted the style of jab and keeping everything long. He'll jab and he'll pull his head back as he's pulling back. If Tyson Fury is very smart, if Tyson Fury jabs with him and then comes with a left hook, he could connect. And one thing for certain, Tyson Fury is the taller guy.
Yeah.
He's not the physically more muscled guy.
No,
He's a bit fleshy a little bit. You know?
Yeah.
He's been hanging out with Julius. But what I'm saying, if he throws a double jab and comes with a left hook, Trust me, he could hit him and most probably knock out Klitschko.
But see, the thing is, right, which I'll go back to another world heavyweight champion, which was Lennox Lewis.
Yeah.
Lennox Lewis fought another guy, Michael Grant, who was a little
Same
bit taller.
time, yeah. He
A
smashed
little
him
bit,
to bits.
yeah, and he did. And Michael Grant was the up and coming big hitter.
Yeah.
Everybody knew him as a big hitter. But because of Lennox's experience alone, Lennox was able to control that fight very early,
Sure.
establish his jab, and that's what the champions are able to do. The challengers have to go out there and look to
Be
take
domineering.
away.
Okay.
And Vladimir
From-
might enjoy being a more nimble opponent than his opponent.
I think, you know,
Smaller guy.
Tyson Fury's going to come in. He says he's around 18 stone, around kind of 17 and a half, 18, nearly 18 stone. And I would say this as well. When you look at Vladimir Klitschko, he is an impressive unit. When you look at him, you stand in front of him, he's very muscular. Not overly muscular, but he's an impressive unit.
Chiseled. Yeah.
And that's, you know, when you first see that and you get hit by someone like that, that's when you kind of like you have to start taking stock.
Yeah.
So, you know.
We'll see what happens, boys.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
interesting. Now on the heavyweight subject as well, another South Londoner, David Hay making his comeback. Nature Boy D Mills on Twitter, it's a good name, says, what do you make of Mr. David Hay returning to fight Mark Damori, the Australian opponent? It's got a decent KO percentage, Nature Boy says, potentially a slip up. That record is 130 fights, 26 knockouts, lost 1, drawn 2. But most of Mark Damori's fights, Julius, have been in Australia last 4 years.
Yeah, and you're not going to really. First off, I'm glad that David A is making a comeback, because any fighter that says, as any heavyweight fighter that says they're going to retire at the age of 31,
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
it's not even, because at 31 you're not even halfway through your really coming to your full potential.
Sure.
As a heavyweight, you don't really mature. At
Strength
31,
goes up, doesn't it?
yeah, of course. At 31, you're just coming into being a strong man, a strong young man. And David is a very strong young man, very talented man. And I'd like to see what David will do in the next couple of years. And I'm happy that he's coming back, because I do believe that he has the potential again to be a world heavyweight champion.
Your reactions to the Bermondsey boy coming back?
My
35 years
reaction,
of age?
is really good, because it's David Hay. David Hay's exciting. David Hay's a good-looking guy. David Hay can punch. Right? David Hay says, like, sometimes the wrong things that create media hype, but then they work out to be the right things, because he's about putting bums on seats.
Yeah.
Right. But my only reservation, I said this last week when you weren't here.
Yeah.
Right. What they had to do for David Hay's first opponent back, now he's no longer with Adam Booth.
Yeah.
Right? He's 2 bad injuries and operations. So I'm saying, right, you have to go out to the cemetery and knock on the graveyards, and if the grave knocks back, don't pick that opponent. And I think that is what they've done with this guy. Damori, no disrespect.
They were
but-
twitched, didn't he?
Yeah, right. So,
Yeah.
Julius, I would fancy you against Damori right now. Yeah, I mean, I swear that we can train for 4 weeks, and I could bring you out. of
Well,
retirement to-
I
Trying to
you know,
matchmake and promote here, probably.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
seriously.
yeah, but you know, if I had my license still, maybe I could do that.
He's-
But
he's
Oh,
also-
they took it away.
yeah, it's gone. It's gone
Well,
now.
at least you just got your driving license. You ain't got nothing to worry about.
What's interesting is, by modern standards, he's also a relatively small heavyweight, Damori, as is the criticism of David Hay was against Vladimir Klitschko, not big enough. And on this question, Stephen Forbes says, which do you think of the British heavyweights will be the main man, Hay, Fury, or Joshua? I suppose that Hay definitely the smaller partner of that
Yeah, but
triumvirate.
you know, size is no guarantee for strength.
Yeah.
And size is no guarantee, because it's not the bark in the dog, it's the bite in the dog.
Yeah.
And David Hay has always been. He's a small fighter. Tyson was a small fighter. We've had.
What was Mike Tyson like compared to Vitaly Klitschko? Just as tough?
They're different. They're different fighters altogether, because one is like 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
One is 5'10". You know,
An
and they come
explosive
in with
5'10".
different angles. Yeah, and a very, you know, it's obviously everybody knows about Mike Tyson, what he did as a young man, and the undisputed heavyweight champion at 20 years old. So, and me, I'm sitting there watching that guy grow up in the game. But again, coming back to David Hay, it doesn't matter that he's a small. David Hay has grown now into being a fully fledged heavyweight. At 15 and a half stone, you are a fully fledged heavyweight.
Yeah.
And we have what was his name? now the guy I'm just trying to think of him. So Floyd Patterson. Floyd Patterson wasn't a big heavyweight at all, but Floyd Patterson was undisputed champion. Floyd Patterson was only
things
like.
have evolved since.
Yeah, they have evolved. They have evolved. But Floyd Patterson,
13-stone man.
Floyd Patterson
was
was
competing today. In today's days, he wouldn't be able to.
But I think he would have done because
Not as a heavyweight though.
maybe not as a heavyweight,
cruiserweight,
but because he had the style and he had the originator of the
peekaboo style.
the peekaboo style, which was Custamato was his trainer, and Custamato then. He built his career really with a Floyd Patterson, and then he come and he found a Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And he saw the potential of a Mike Tyson. And he grew Mike Tyson, and everybody knows what he did. So David Haye being a small heavyweight doesn't matter.
To find a way to exploit the
Yes.
of a taller man in terms of.
Of course, and I think
side.
David can do it because and the other thing about David, which I don't think a lot of people really get, is that David Haye is a very underestimated puncher. He's a very, very powerful.
He's an underestimated puncher.
I think he is.
No
I think he
way.
is.
David Haye cannot.
He can. He can.
I think Value F.
Yeah.
That big monster.
I think if David Haye, well, we saw, obviously one of David's last fights was when he beat Chisora. He hit him. He was hitting Chisora all over the place with very. To me,
Chisora is a very tough.
And Chisora is a tough
man.
guy. He is a tough guy. But even that fight, I predicted the fight wouldn't go 5 rounds, and it didn't. David Haye had the guy, a bigger guy, a heavier guy, all over the place with the punches he had. And I think David Haye coming back is very, very good for boxing.
Yeah, great box, great heavyweight division. Let's move on though, because
definitely.
Ryan Jenkinson says a question from the back of Anthony Crolla claiming the world title, which we're very happy about at the weekend against Darius Perez. It says it seems that a number of Joe Gallagher's stable Spencer are very effective body punchers. Can you see any reason why? I guess
Yes,
the implication is
I can.
deliberate tactic of Joe Gallagher. Really.
No, I guess I can. You know why? Because I know that Joel Gallagher watches wildlife programs. No, don't laugh. No, I'm gonna break this one down for you. Right, there was a shark there was a shark in Indonesia. He watches National History programs, right? There's a shark in Indonesia called the Wobbegong shark, right? Which is it's a chameleon shark. It hides things. What Joe Gallagher has taught his fighters is to hide the shots. Yeah. They don't telegraph their shots. So what they do, they wait and they ambush you with punches. If you saw Crolla on the weekend, the brilliant thing about Crolla, you know sometimes like you've been in the gym and like your girlfriend could walk into the gym and you're on a punch bag. And then you start tearing into the bag to show off.
That's right. Yep.
What Anthony Crolla did on the weekend was reminiscent to what you do then, because Anthony Crolla threw an uppercut, right hand, left hook to the head, left hook down. So he disguised the power shot of going downstairs. And I think Joe Gallagher gets lots of his fighters, especially with the Smith brothers and Paul in purpose, because Paul likes to sit down with very throwing body shots, and so does Liam. So it's a trait that Scott Quigg's a horrible body puncher. So it's a trait that is now inside, it's encompassed inside of that gym. And I think that Joe Gallagher, I know your tricks, Joe. You watch wildlife programs, my friend, to know to disguise things.
And it is a good tactic. And I like the way Spencer's kind of. Yeah, it is underused. Look to fighters like Joe Fraser. Yeah. Joe Fraser loved going to the body.
Oh, man.
And
Mike McCullum.
It's a bigger target as well.
Yeah, of course it's a bigger target. Everybody thinks, right, yeah, I'm going to go and knock the guy out to the head. Why go to the head when the body's there looking at you saying, I'm open, come tap me, touch me. You know, and that's and there you go.
Most definitely.
Paul Merrifield, we've run out of time. We could talk all day with Julius. I know Julius, by the way, is going to be on the audio podcast. We're in for a full hour, so have a good old chat about all things heavyweight boxing.
And we've got to try and edge Julius to talk because he doesn't like talking.
It's a problem in South London. I found
I know. South London.
Paul Merrifield asks, as a big Lee Haskin fan, so glad he's now world champion. But how should Randy Caballero, be punished? This seems a common problem. So Randy Caballero was the undefeated IBF champion, didn't make weight. So Lee Haskins from Bristol is the world champion. What do you think should happen in that context?
Well, obviously, what does happen is that fines are imposed.
Yeah.
And you know the guy maybe he's going to have to get dropped down the rankings, and then he's going to have to start again, which is sometimes a bit of a shame. But you know, the rules are the rules. The rules are the rules, and they're there to be.
Julius, did you ever have that problem making weight? Oh, sorry, you was a heavyweight. Sorry.
I actually did have problems making weight because at one time when I was actually out in Arizona training and sparring, and I got two I lost too much weight to actually spar. So
Veered into cruiserweight.
yeah, I was nearly I was nearly a cruiserweight.
Yeah, just for a fleeting moment.
So yeah, for a fleeting moment. Yeah.
What about Lee Haskins though? Because it is into his 30s now. He's been knocking on the door for a long time. Got some big wins over guys that have had world titles, but denied, I suppose, the magical moment of Las Vegas, which may not happen again.
Well,
Sympathy for him?
regardless of that, Lee Haskins will fight. Now he's got a validated world title.
Yeah.
He hasn't got an interim belt. And it doesn't matter how he got the title. That the same thing happened to Lennox Lewis when he was given the WBC crown, and his first defense was against Tony Tucker. All that Lee Haskins has got to do is to fight the fight. So you've got a validated world title now. There are big fights out there. You could get rematching with guys that you've already beaten. Hopefully, if we can put enough money on the table, as Dave Caldwell said when he was here, it's all about money. Him fighting McDonald again. Yeah. If we can come with the right money, then it's a wrap. It will happen. So fingers crossed for him. It's a fantastic thing for him to become a world champion anyway. So let's see what happens.
Yes, his money's quite important in boxing, as we found out. As in life, Julius, it's been a pleasure having you on
Thank you.
Toe to Toe. Stick around for the audio podcast.
Problem.
Spencer, looking good as always. We'll
I'm
look forward to
best.
talking more heavyweights with this man.
Yeah, and we can talk, and
An
also
extension.
myself and Julius could talk about the old days when Julius used to run all the doors. So I used to, remember those days? So Julius, any nightclub you wanted to get into, the End, you know what I mean, La Costa Nostra, all of the clubs, and people are going to reminisce about that. Julius was the man to get
Yeah,
in.
you maybe faced the 17-year-old trying to get in. Anyway, enough of that. Thank you for your questions. Do get them in next Tuesday. We'll put a call to arms on the Sky Sports Boxing Twitter account. Check out the audio podcast on the website and iTunes. We'll speak to you soon.
Enjoy Sky Sports Live on all screens, on the go, and the best bits on demand.